G'day everyone, and welcome back to Apaya Puzzles. Today's Friday, which means that David Astle is at it again in the Age and the Sydney Morning Herald with one of Australia's most challenging crosswords. So let's dive straight in with one across. Just note about the grid, it's very full today, so there's not very many short words. There's no threes or fours, and quite a few long ones, so it might make it a bit more challenging. Let's see. President retires after era's end, taking break to eat ace nuts. Interesting. I think nuts might be the definition with a 23216. So 23216. So the one is going to be there. It's either an A or an I guess. But president, are we talking about the current president, which would be Biden, coming after? So Nebin, which isn't obviously going to go somewhere. After era's end, so the A probably. Taking break to eat ace nuts. Oh, actually, maybe this is an anagram here. That is 12 letters. It's 14 all up, so we'd need another 2 letters, and we'd then president can't possibly be represented by that. I feel like there's too much going on, although you'd think that the expression itself would stand out. Nuts. I'm assuming nuts in the sense of crazy. Be something, or in the... Let's see if we can get the first letter. That would be pretty helpful. Reckoning, 734, another complex one. Reckoning that goes in entering totals of upsets. So totals can be sums or tallies. I think tots, although probably not tots. And I think upsets might be the definition. Reckoning being a synonym for something that goes inside of, or that goes in entering. Wow, okay. Maybe reckoning that goes in is the definition. Or a word for goes inside entering, reckoning being the definition. Totals of upsets. It'd be interesting if it was a hidden. This in just represents a reversal. Upset can be a reversal indicator, but upsets feels less likely. But with DA, you never know what shenanigans. You might be separating that into 2 separate words. But that's not going to help right now. So 2 down. Rubbish, gracious, boater, 2, 3. Gracious boater. Good Lord. And this is the second word of number 1. So it starts, it's the first letter of the second word. So this is some sort of figurative definition, I think, for gracious boater, and then it will also mean rubbish, I guess. To rubbish as a verb, but only 2 words, very short words. I mean, unless it would be atypical to do something like that, to have the 2 as part of the definition. So to bin is to rubbish, but could Tobin be gracious boater in some indirect way? I think so. What is a boater? Like a sailor, or it could be the typical AB or salt or tar. Maybe it's not. Maybe gracious is a short synonym, and then boater is also. What about at sea? A boater would be a person at sea. That would be the straight definition, although oblique. Rubbish gracious, though. I think we're in for a tricky one today, my friends. So lock in, although I've got an appointment. Well, I think it's about 2 hours off, so hopefully that's enough time to either finish or conclude that there'll be no video today. A spy conceals silencer near an Oxford museum. So A is normally going to be literally in the clue. I think spy will come at the other end of the clue, and it will have inside of itself a word for silencer. Near an Oxford. Do we need to know the actual Oxford Museum? Because I don't. What's Oxford going to be referencing? Just not a readily synonymized word. So a near an could just mean that there is an. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's something like this. Actually, no, it's not a museum. It's a library that I'm aware of that a friend of mine always talks about. I can't actually remember the name of it now. Yeah, so that's going to be tricky. Silencer. A silencer could be something like a dummy, or a what do you call it? Thing that you wrap around someone's face to shut them up. A gag. Yeah, gag's going to be in there, I reckon. That's a short synonym. A with gag and spy. What's the spy? Agent. That's too long, I think. Private investigators often spy. So A and PI surrounding gag and an. Well, so that could be a gag. This feels ridiculous, but I was thinking something like, it's not going to be long enough. And I think maybe the word I was thinking of was like agapanther or something, which, yeah, I get my mouse is in a different position to you, so I keep reaching up for it. We looked at 2, so wow, what are we in? 6 minutes, 7 minutes in. I think it's going to be a puzzle that it's not a good idea to labour too long on clues, so let's do that. Wrong US city. Interesting, this might be a reference to something the other day. Wrong US city, lost face, retreating, 3-2. Probably not. So a US city without its first letter, going backwards, meaning wrong, and being 3 and 2. There's something off something. So a 6-letter US city without its first letter is likely then to have, fairly likely then for the second letter of that city to be a vowel, which would put it, that would put it at the end. And that, if that's a vowel at the end, it's likely to be an O. It doesn't have to be a vowel though. But if it is O, and we're looking for wrong, wrong could also be a noun, a wrong, a harm against someone. Or too wrong, or the adjective wrong. Wow, okay. I'll follow my rules and not labour, and also try to find where my mouse is. Actually, I'll stick with these downs. If I can get that one across, it would be useful. Class skipper as seen in NRL 4-3. Well, this might be tricky given I know nothing about NRL, but we'll see. Class skipper, like a truant, as seen in NRL. Could almost be a homophone of some sort, like true and or something, but there's no homophone indicator. That's frustrating. I think this might be a double definition of sorts. Something meaning class skipper and some oblique thing about NRL that I don't know. Wow, okay. Deliberate or deliberate massage in not including promoted spa is not including promoted spa treatment. 5-2-2. Well, massaging can be an indicator for anagrams. We've got 9 letters total. Deliberate has 10. If it was not including a particular letter, I'm not sure what that would be though. Or deliberate itself could be an anagram on massage is. I don't like that as much. And that is 9 letters, so I think actually deliberate is the definition. Maybe an anagram of this, 5 letters, and then you're including a SPA treatment that's going backwards, but going promoted. So 4-letter SPA treatment, is there a thing called a wrap or a peel? I think the skin peel, right? That feels good, but what is that going inside of? It's going backwards, so it would have leap inside. Where would that be situated for those 2 though? Feels probably it would have to be there. L-E-E-P. I think the only word there would be sleep. Oh yeah, hey, nice. So sleep on it, which is to deliberate, and we've got S-O-N-I-T. The anagram is not going around the outside of skin peel going backwards. Wow. Okay, that's really satisfying when you get a kind of fairly kind of obscure synonym. So 5 down, capital accumulation, a house block to flip. This could be gains, maybe. A house block to flip. What's a house block? Like a brick? And flipping is presumably an indicator, and the whole thing means capital accumulation. I'll just pop in gains. So I'm going to look at this from the point of view of, can I see the wordplay, but also would it fit with one across? It would be the first letter of the final word, so that's not. Oh, and this here is, that's the single letter word. Right, so this is going to be as mad as probably a hatter. Let me turn off this skipping feature. As mad as a hatter. Beautiful. Now, let's pass that. President retires after year's end, taking break to eat ace nuts. Saddam is in there. I mean, that's an obscure reference to a president. And was he a president, or is it a different term for him? I don't want to, it's going to be a long video, I think, so I'm going to say, if you have a suggestion on the passing of that, let me know. If I have time, I might come back and try to pass it. But now we've got lots to go on. So 5 down, capital accumulation. A house block to flip. I don't see that, so let's come across and then we'll come back to some of those others. Moody once in cricket, dominate, that's going to be a reference to a person who I'm not going to know. Shane Moody rings a bell. Dominating spinner through the air, bingo. So I don't think Shane's going to come into it. Dominating spinner through the air. So through the air, I think it might be a homophone indicator. Dominating is going to say it's going around, overwhelming. A word for spinner, but spelt differently because of this homophone indicator. A spinner could be a top, but it could be lots of things, and it's probably it needs to be a short synonym. And the whole thing means bingo, which is presumably that would be the definition. We've got a T, but we're expecting the top, whatever it is, to be inside, and therefore Moody would actually be starting with a T. So it might not be an actual cricketer, but it feels like that's a reference to Tim Moody or something. I want to try to get this because it feels like a Tom. Bingo. I wonder if that could be a reference to Scrabble somehow. And the spinner, I was thinking of top, but it could be someone who lies. It could be, I feel like I've seen some reference like that to PR people. And and it was kind of done in a ham-fisted kind of way like this, where spinner wouldn't really be PR, but it was done in that way. No, that's I'm really clutching at straws there. So, keep divorce over taxi's rival worker. A keen divorcee. I can't read. Keen divorcee over taxi's rival worker. Over taxis. So over taxi's rival will be Uber, I would think. And then the worker. Yeah, this is exuberant. Nice. I should have thought of divorcee as X. And then Uber is taxi's rival, and an ant is a worker, and keen is exuberant. Gives us a U, like these kinds of letters. Eve's other half, Adam, or maybe something to do with daytime, said, okay, to wear black. So maybe this is a word for Eve. Other half, wife or hubby or something like this, spoken out loud, and then having an extra B at the beginning or the end or the middle. Or it could be something like a word like, oh, we've got the U there, so that's helpful in terms of that would be part of the bit that means other half, pronounced differently or spelled differently. Partner, mate, wearing black, and then Eve would be the definition, if that's all correct. No, I think it's Eve's other half is the definition, and said to wear is a homophone indicator for this, and then black. So if that was true, the B for black, if that's it from chess and probably other places, would put that, and that's unusual, but it could be right. So like thumb or something like this. So this would have to be to wear at the beginning here. So to put on clothes, but also to wear down over time. Yeah, I'll test the B. Another long one though. One word. Stricken. I'll take it out for a second. Stricken, a patient's nursed taking uranium pill. This looks like an anagram. Stricken as an indicator. Maybe not. I think it's too many letters. I thought it might be an anagram. The whole thing meaning pill. But I think... So what have we got there? 8, 9... That's 15 letters already. Oh, taking uranium might mean removing the U. Okay, cool. So that would give us 14 letters. So we need a 14-letter word, anagram of this without U, meaning pill. And looks like antidepressant. I want to see if that fits. I think that is it. We've got 2 A's, 2 S's, E and T. I think that's it. Good. Gives us an I at the end here, which is good. An N, so not a B. That was going to be something to do with black or Eve's other half. Come back to that. This one looks promising, although vowels at the end often can either make it easier because there's not too many options, or harder because it's some very obscure reference. Yeah, I mean, Auschwitz memoirist. And if I was clever, I would know who that was. I'm absorbed in Source of Pain, Part 6 by Auschwitz memoirist. Source of Pain for P, Part 6. 6, well, yeah, actually this would make sense. I still don't know the name, but Levy is a common Jewish surname, and we've got VI for 6. source of pain at the P with I'm absorbed inside of that, and part 6, whatever that's about. So, well, we still need part now. Part could be roll. Oh, there we go. So roll for part. This is looking good. Maybe not in that particular position. I was thinking like a Pedro or something, but and I'm involved can be DA. Pablo's another one. It could just be literally IM, but I think that doesn't. Well, it doesn't go with roll anyway. Yeah, apologies. I'm sure many of you know what this is. I don't know for sure it's Levy, but I'd be pretty confident in that. But let's come back. Mindful Braveheart merch. This is aware. So the heart letter of Brave is A. Merchandise is wear, like hardware, one's wares. And mindful is aware. That ends in an A for 6 down, which was the bingo. Bingo could be like ta-da. Moody now would have to be a person ending in A, which is suddenly becoming less likely, especially for a male cricketer. Dominating spinner through the air. Bingo. It's just a single word. I don't know, and that's going to be tricky because it's a bit orphaned over here unless I can get 5 down. But we'll come back around to that. Let's try 1 down again. Reckoning that goes in, entering totals of upsets. I got against the odds. Yeah, well, that's interesting because upsets would be things that are against the odds. It's not really synonymous exactly, but it fits, and it seems like it would be unlikely to be so closely aligned and not be right. And we do have some letters that seem to be anagrammed. Gains is in there. Entering totals. And I wonder if totals would... Yeah, I guess totals would have to be part of the wordplay. Yeah, ADDS is ads. So you've got gains, TTHEO. Oh yeah, so that we do have... I was thinking that we didn't have T's, but that does have T's. So GAINS... Yeah, we've got everything there, I think. So reckoning would be the anagram indicator. Fair enough, yep. So it loads of letters now. So slow start, but maybe we're off. Rubbish, gracious, boater, and that's right. My something. I was going to say my ass. But I don't think that's it. What's the other? My eye? Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's an English expression. There is in French. That's how they kind of say. That's how they express disbelief or incredulity. Is "Tu vois mon œil? You see my eye?" So that makes some sense. But what's the boater? Popeye with something else going on. I'm going to back my eye for a second. I'm not confident, to be fair, but can you say my leg? I don't think so. Still stuck on that. Anyway, 11. Wrong US city. Lost face retreating. So not on might be it, being wrong. The US city losing its face would have to be something. Well, we've got a palindrome there, so it would just have to start with, and that doesn't seem right. If it is an E there, it wouldn't need to retreat, although it could retreat. So there's no harm in using that word. It's just a bit verbose in a way that's not needed as such, but maybe for surface reading. I can't see that being a city though. Oh, unless there's another word involved. And well, in any case, the city is going to end in an N. Tucson, Uxon, Nosco. What else ends in an N? 6 letters. It's too tricky. I mean, there'd be loads of options, and I'm not going to think of them, I don't think. So let's see. And that E doesn't look right from my eye, so be conscious of that. Class skipper as seen in NRL, yeah. Now, I just have a wonder about this. As seen in NRL, I don't know. I thought maybe that's some sort of like an NRL is a car of some sort, but in the dash, is there a dash in dash? Is there a hyphen in dashcam? I can see the possibility of another clue that uses dashcam that plays somehow. You put a hyphen in the clue which represents the dash, and that is 100% what the DA would do. But yeah, class skipper seen in NRL. And now also NRL could have a cam of some sort that, like, for instant replays or adjudicating calls, but I don't know what that is. And class skipper still doesn't really mean much to me, and I'm reluctant to try 9 across, but I will. I'll take this out. Well, I think that's got to be my but 9 across, where's my mouse? What a pro. A spy conceals, so A is at the beginning, spy will probably be PI, private investigator. Near concealing silencer, which I thought was a gag, near N. So yeah, I mean, this is the kind of structure I was thinking of before, that there'd be like an Athenian or something like that, Arthurian, or I don't know, a word of that kind of structure. So now we need to conceal a silencer that probably ends in E. No, actually, no, the spy would be the E, and then that's all. Yeah, so the last letter of the spy is an E, I think. And so the silencer still does go in here, so that still could be gag. And probably if it is, then that would be clear to someone who's ever seen the word. My God, but that was something about incredulity, wasn't it? Was that 2 down? Rubbish, gracious, boater. The other thing, a gracious boater, let's just come back to that for a second, would be someone who offers something to you. So like a boater who's being gracious is maybe saying, you go first or something like that. And if it's in the context of boats, yeah, my eye doesn't make sense for the wordplay, which I knew that anyway. My tug. Annoying. Let's come back. 11 across. Where's my mouse? Maybe I should just put it back up here. That's going to be a whole lot easier. Wrong US city. Oh, sorry, we've done this. 13 across. And again, there's a lot of orphaning going on up here. So even if I get this, well, if that's an M, we're in business, I think. But 13. Get stricter giant talking, lifting lid on premiership. 7-2. So get stricter, I would think, is the definition. 7-2 gives a sense of a verb, a compound verb with something like on here, so put pressure on, etc. Giant talking. A giant could be a titan. Yeah, that's it. So a giant is a titan, and in talking, you would potentially hear that as that word there. And then we're going to have tighten up, I think, to get stricter. Lifting lid on premiership. So, yeah, premiership is cup, and we take the lid off it, so we get up. Nice. That is a T, not an M, so that's nice. That was class skipper as seen in NRL. That could be out. And that lines up with my idea that the city might be one that ends or has a second letter as a vowel for 11 across. But I'm going to come back because I think I need to clear my mind of previously silly thoughts up there and see if things become clearer later. So 14, dog to shred stoop we hear, 5-4. Great Dane. I got that from stoop, amazingly enough. If you stoop in front of someone, you deign, D-E-I-G-N. You say that out loud, you spell it differently, D-A-N-E, as in you hear it, you overhear it. And then to shred is to grate, which is G-R-A-T-E, with the same transition. And then a dog is a Great Dane. Oh, nice, okay. So, formal footwear tips. Okay. Well, heels. I'm not sure why that means tips. Maybe to tip over, you can say to heel. Well, I'm thinking of keel, I think. May not be heels, but... And formal footwear? I guess, yeah, in fact, literally footwear that you would wear to a formal. So I think that is it, but tips, I'm not sure. Anyway, S is probably right regardless. So I'll probably be able to solve this out and never know if heels is correct until I'm looking at the answers tomorrow. Declared origins cup holders. So it starts with an S. Declares could be another homophone indicator. There's been a lot. Or it could just be said, or it could be the definition. Or the origin letter of declared. Cup holders. So cup holders could be... Well, the surface reading actually relates to sport, which would be my natural reading of it. So, and more oblique reading, someone who literally physically holds a cup, or something to do with bras even. I like that idea actually. They don't really hold cups though, do they? Origin could be source, but then I'll come back when I've got some letters, which we should be able to get with all of this stuff going on. I say that. Where to get down with rap star. A rap star. Where to get down. Down could be D from the abbreviation in crosswords themselves, down clues, but I don't think that's it. Oh, actually, you get down from a duck. Who's the rap star? Should this be obvious? I'm terrible with these kind of cultural references. If that's what's going on, that would be very useful. Where to get down? Oh, actually, there we go. Yeah, Drake. I got that from the where to get down. A Drake is where you can get down feathers from, and the rapper is Drake. So 21. Overpower. Meticulous renegade, not I. So again, this looks like an anagram where we're Probably renegade is the indicator to rearrange meticulous, which is 10 letters. Then we're going to take out the letter I to give our 9-letter final word, meaning overpower, with an O and a T in it. That's going to have to be out something. And so it's going to be out, without the I, out muscle. Very nice. Okay, so this bottom half is doing a whole lot better. Helps that I got one down, obviously. 18. I looked at that before, yeah. I can look again. Declared origins cup holders. What about stumped? I'm not sure in cricket when you declare if you can refer that as stumping, but what does that mean wordplay wise? Origins cup holders. Actually, oh sorry, that's an E, so that doesn't work at all. It's in the wrong place. The cup could literally be in there, but I don't see that either. What was the other thought I just had? Yeah, origin as source, but then the E would have to be the sort of the cup that's being held. Yeah, I don't know. 27. Judge's order 536. In drug busting lawsuit ends with stayed resolution. Wow, there's a lot going on, and even the definition could be easily on either end. My sense is judge's order would be, or judge even, would be the definition. It's tricky because order could be an anagram indicator, although if you're on the word judges, but J's are uncommon letters, so also this middle letter here, oh, actually I know what this is. Well, I can see a term that fits, so cease and desist. I was going to say the middle word's likely to be to be the, but actually it's and, if this is correct. So that's the judge's order. Drug busting lawsuit. So drug's probably E, yeah, drug, E, busting, going side of, case, which is a lawsuit, ends with stayed resolution. What about here? Is that right? Yeah, ends with stayed resolution. Yeah, ends and stayed, both those words anagram together to give you and desist. Nice. I can see that actually being another homophone clue where you have, because and desist, the two D's are lied into each other, it could sound like and assist. But that's for a future puzzle. This one here, another vowel on the end, is a nice one. Well, it's a New South Wales town, almost certainly. Lower rate split. And New South Wales town. So the town doesn't come to mind. I don't love references to specific places unless they're super well known. Particularly hard for anyone from overseas, of course, but I don't know there's that many people from overseas solving these. Cowra seems to be a place in my mind. Yeah, a lower, nice. A lower is one who lows, and that is a cow. A cow makes a noise, which is referred to as lowing. So rate split is the word rate split in half, so just the RA, New South Wales town. 26. Hot snack, 6-3. Just looking at it with the A at the end there, it might be a T of some sort. Hot snack was a pie baked after a bakery's opening. So this is going to be was a pie, 7 letters, anagrammed, baked, so it's anagrammed, after the letter A and the B for bakery's opening. although we've got the W at the start, so the AB doesn't come first, but we should maybe be able to get it from this. I'm assuming the was is in there. And if we just add that with AB, can I think of an anagram for that? And it means hot snack. I might have to come back. Getting this letter in the second word there would be nice. Spartan, 5 letters. This could be another tricky one with an I. Spartan character, endorsed exercise drink. So I feel like actually this might be a drink, and actually it could be Pepsi. Yeah. Spartan character is psi. Endorsing exercise, which is PE. So endorsed is saying to put at the end, I think. And Pepsi is a drink. Now I wonder if endorsed is being used kind of loosely to mean, end-orsed. But I think if that was the case, it'd be a question mark. So maybe this just is a legitimate way of saying append at the end. This gives a P here, which confuses me. Is this a P of some sort? PE? Or was there a P? Oh, there was a P in our anagram. In fact, there was a pie. There we go. It was a pie. Baked after a baker's opening. Pepsi may not be correct, but it feels good. So this is either an E. It can't be an L or an R. So I think it has to be an E. And it's a hot snack. Ah, wasabi pea. Wow, okay. So that was a pie with AB in the middle of it. Oh, I don't know, my mouse has died. That would be a disaster. I think it has. And the trials of using a Mac, using a magic mouse, is that you can't plug it in while it's in use. Okay, well, I'm back on board. I don't know if I've charged my battery for long enough, but fingers crossed. Yeah, I don't know where my backup mouse is. Where was I? I think I just did wasabi P26 hot snack. Yes, and that was just anagrammed. So let's continue. 23. Ninnies create poems on and off. This looks like every second letter. PS. Although that doesn't seem to line up actually. So ninnies. What's a ninny? Dope. Create poems, odes, on and off. Oh, create could be an anagram indicator, but then I don't know what that's doing actually. Oh, okay. So yeah, I think this is dopes. Do for create, and on and off. Every second letter of poems is PES. Yeah, should have thought of that. 20 down. Car ran off road, finally can be caught. DBE. This I think is audible. Yeah. Car is Audi, and then ran off road, finally can be caught. So can be caught is the definition, audible. Ran off road, finally. Yeah, so ran is bled. That came up I think in a recent DA, or at least a recent puzzle. Run to bleed. Ran, bled. Taking off the final letter of road, D, gives BLE only. 19 across. This is actually, I'm really surprised at how quick I've gone along the bottom here after that really slow start. Was an ape pursued? 4, 5. Something after. Took after? No, something after. Was an ape pursued. Tail after. I thought took after was interesting because to ape is to copy, and so if you take after something, you could say you're copying it, but that, I think it's a bit of a too long a bow, and I don't think took after means pursued. Let's see if we can get this letter. If it's an O, I won't be happy. 15 down. Affirmed fresh starter as cold sort of cheese. Well, we got a D at the end and an affirmed as a potential definition, so it probably means affirmed. And from the definition alone, I can't actually see what that is. So, fresh starter as cold sort of cheese. Where's our P coming from? I can't see what any of those words are doing. I mean, how are we going to get a type of cheese in here? It doesn't look like it can be a type of cheese. Although, well, this is interesting because that is almost Parmesan. Actually, it could be, what was this? Yeah. And this is obviously correct down the bottom, cease and desist, but maybe we're corrupting a Parmesan somehow. This would have to be maybe turn after, or tore after. Is it past tense? 19 across. Yeah, it's past tense, so could that mean anything to do with an ape? No, I don't know. It's pretty... And anyway, that's on the basis of Parmesan, which I don't see an obvious way we're going to include that. But if it's not Parmesan, or if it's a type of cheese as the definition, are we really going to end in S and D? That seems unlikely, especially with affirmed being a really obvious possibility. Could be in something like this. No, this is a case where I come back later when my brain is cleared of the dross. I can do this one at least, possibly, if that ends right, which I'd probably back. Capital accumulation, a house block to flip. Well, could the whole thing be A and then house block and the whole thing going backwards, but this meaning capital accumulation? I don't think so. I wonder if hedge can mean that. The A feels like it has to come in there somewhere. Oh, actually. Right, this is Hanoi. One of these cunning hiddens, and this one a reversal. So Hanoi is spelt out letter for letter backwards in this. So it's a block of this text, but flipping over, and it gives Hanoi, which is the capital of Vietnam. So 12 across with I. Now see, so this could be, hope my keyboard doesn't die now. It could be IM, or it could just be the letter I, absorbed in Source of Pain, Part 6. And likely candidates for the second letters are vowels or R and L, maybe an H. So R something something LE for part. Well, it could still be roll. Oh, right. Primo Levi. That must be it. I actually don't recognize that name, but I'm inside of roll, and P for Source of Pain, and VI for 6. Cool. Okay. Well, something learned there. I might look that up afterwards. Let's take a look at this again. Eve's other half said to wear black. maybe we did have the U and the N, I think, or at least the U. Yeah, and I got the N and looked back at it and still couldn't figure it out. So Adam's not involved, it would seem. Eve, in the sense of evening, its other half would be morning, which could be AM, or it could be morn. There we go. So Eve's other half is MORN, morning, and that's spoken out loud. So we hear it and we spell it differently as with the U, and that means if you're wearing black, then you are potentially mourning. Right, Timbola or something feels good, but it's going to be a guess at this point because I think this is a person's name. Unless there's a name for bingo or similar associated game. Okay, I think this is either Timbola or Tombola. I don't know which. They kind of sound vaguely familiar, but I think what's going on with the clue is that Moody once in cricket it will be Tim or Tom. Tom Moody. I think it's Tom Moody. And that is dominating, or it's over the top of, a spinner, which is a bowler, through the air, spelt differently. There's so many homophones in this crossword. I wonder if that's like a deliberate thing. There's just so many of them. But yeah, and that gives you tombola, or timbola, which is I presume, a type of bingo, a name for a bingo game. I would have thought bingo is just bingo, and then tombola is it might be another kind of game of that nature, but it wouldn't be classified as bingo. But maybe there's lots of subtypes of bingo. I'm not up on the latest in the wild world of bingo. I'd be much more inclined to think that is a T. My hat. There we go. That is it. I say confidently, but yeah. Now why? So a boater. I think a boater is a type of hat. Wondering about when I get to these kind of stages where it's worth just giving up and either looking up the answers for the sake of the video, or just closing it off and leaving it where it's at and saying that's where I got to. Processed is a sort of cheese. That deserves a question mark, I think, because that could be the definition. And then you've got this as wordplay. I don't know. I think I'm going to say that that's what it is, but it's both of those answers feel dicey. No, this I have to give up, I think. And actually, what I'll do to give up is initially try for the AH word, because I might get that on one look. AHEAN. AHEAN. Okay, here we go. We've got some words, and two of them are common. Neither of them is capitalized, which is a bit surprising. So Aculean, the silencer and the private investigator in there, or the spy. There we go, Ashmolean, right. I should have thought of mole. Mole is a good word to know in cryptics for that purpose. So is that the spelling? Yeah. So we've got mole, who is the spy. That has to be right. Silencer is sh. Of course. Not so much of course, but... So you've got sh, mole, inside a and an. Good. So that solves that. Now that makes me think of drop net. Oh no, drop out. Someone who drops out of school. Oh, and drop out must be a maneuver, or whatever, yeah. Okay, I'm almost positive that's correct. But this leaves us with this not so Good grief. Austin, Boston. Obvious city. Okay, well, after... I'm pretty sure I will have cut out some of my waffling considerations there, because that got a bit drawn out. And the mouse did last in the end. So that was cool. I really like that. I mean, there were some real challenges in it. I'm annoyed that I didn't think of Not So. I did think of Dropout, but couldn't associate it with the clue. Never would have got Ashmolean unless I'd figured a mole. I haven't solved this one. Hang on a minute. 18 down. Declared origins cup holders. Yeah, sources, right. So that is source in the sense of origin, O-U-R-C-E, said out loud, giving us a different spelling of sources which hold cups. That's the obvious thing that holds cups. Right, so, okay, I kind of enjoy that. It was a weird one. The slow start and then the rapid fire stuff down here. Still don't really know what heels is doing, but I'm not going to labour on that. And that's my alarm for my appointment. That's good. So I'll leave it there. Thanks very much for joining me through that arduous activity. And I will see you all again for another puzzle soon.